What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Martin for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamari4 here once again. Now, you know, something has had to have happened for me to dig up the Washington Post series that I used to have. My OG subscribers remember the Washington Post, where we used to discuss celebrity news and just happenings in pop culture. And I don't know, as of lately, there just hasn't been anything to happen that I've had like a significant enough, or I was invested in enough to formulate an opinion for a video. However, I was minding my business on my couch, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, I believe was the first place I saw it, and somebody had posted, I just heard that Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. I said, what? Now that just kind of sounds like something that at first would be false or some weird rumor, but then they're like, oh no, there's video. I said, oh. And you know, I started looking at the video and I watched, and of course, there's different clips from different angles. There's different stories about what happened on either side. Basically, from what I'm reading on the websites here, Cardi approached the table without looking for a fight. They were both Cardi and Nicki were at New York Fashion Week, and apparently Cardi wanted to come up to Nicki Minaj and address some lies that had been said, or just something that she needed to hash out. And apparently, she believes, or is believed, that the security for Nicki's side anticipated Cardi's arrival. So when she came up at an apparently aggressive tone or stance or whatever you want to call it, they kind of shoved her, elbowed her. That's why Cardi is walking around with like a knot on her head, because of the security. And at this point, you know, Cardi being who she is, it was on. It really was, it was on. Like, she blew up from there. There's just so much, I feel like there's holes and gaps between the story, at least at this point, that we're not aware of as people on the outside looking in. But we're seeing that she threw a shoe at Nicki. We're seeing I'm not familiar with the young lady, whoever, the third party that was involved, who she was yelling with, Ra, whomever she may be. I'm not sure where she falls into this, to be honest. Y'all can tell me in the comments. But there's footage of her talking about, you know, say something about my child, say something about this, that, and the fourth, and blah, blah, blah. Now, after the whole debacle, okay, after she done thrown it, and she done basically went full hood on him, you know, because y'all know Cardi about that life. She ain't never apologized. She ain't never tried to make it believe that she is not. You know, she's been trying to keep it as cute as possible with this whole situation. And after this encounter happened, she put an iOS press release out on her Instagram saying the following: I've let a lot of shit slide. I'll let you sneak diss me. I'll let you lie on me. I'll let you attempt to stop my bags, fuck up the way I eat. You've threatened other artists in the industry, told them that if they work with me, you'll stop fucking with them. I let you talk big shit about me. I addressed you once in person, which we saw. I addressed you a second time in person, which I want to say was the most recent at the gala where she was pregnant. You know, there's that picture where they were both kind of looking like they were having a discussion. And every time you cop the plea, basically talking about, oh, you know, it's all good, this, that, and the fourth, blah, blah, blah. But when you mention my child, you choose to like comments about me as a mother, make comments about my abilities to take care of my daughter, and that's when all bets are fucking off. I work too hard and come too far to let anybody fuck with my success. Bitches talk all that shit in their raps, but in real life, they pussy. This shit really is for entertainment. Now, I'm going to try to be as unbiased here as possible and give you my full, just overall opinion. Because as this has happened, of course, there's people rooting for Cardi B, and of course, there's people who are defending Nicki Minaj as well. And honestly, of course, within this segment, there have been people saying, oh, you know, Nicki is wrong for bringing up Cardi's child, this, that, and the fourth, this, she's wrong, she's wrong. I would have fought somebody too, somebody brought up my child, which is all valid arguments. Now, somebody resurfaced a picture, I guess, of Instagram back and forth where Cardi B said something like, that's why your son died, bitch, because you a fucking wrong person or whatever. Basically, her taking a dig at somebody else's child as well. So both parties are in the wrong in this particular situation as far as bringing each other's, well, not each other's because Nicki ain't got none, but bringing children into a situation where they do not belong. The only thing about this is just all around public perception. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this, just my whole thoughts on this whole Nicki Minaj, Cardi B situation back and forth. I really don't plan on this being long, but I've had a thought about this and I've discussed it with a couple of friends of mine. To me, it felt like Nicki was great. Nicki was doing, you know, excelling. I believe it was when she put out her last album, Print. It was doing well. She was on tour doing well. The blip that kind of ruffled her a little bit, but she didn't really attach herself too much to it, was when her brother was going, you know, getting convicted for these child molestation, predator, what have you. And she kind of distanced herself from that, so that scandal, at least from what it looked like to me, didn't negatively affect her at that time as much. But to me, I felt like the declines began, or was at least ignited, I should say, by the release of Remy Ma's Sheether. Okay? Now, that's not to say that Remy Ma just crafted some hip-hop masterpiece, because we know that she didn't really write much of that. But, however, I still feel like it shook Nicki. I feel like the fact that all the things that Remy said and Remy just put out there on Jump Street kind of had her feeling like she didn't know how to properly react. Now, initially when that came out, I mean, yeah, people felt like it was funny. Yeah, people thought, you know, it was a really good diss at Nicki. But some people were on the fence of whether or not Nicki should even respond. But then those who are privy to the history of hip-hop believe that, I mean, in hip-hop, it's kind of a battle. Like, if you don't respond, a lot of times you're viewed as weak, you know, that you've surrendered, you know, this, that, and the fourth. So we're like, okay, Nicki's going to come respond. She's going to respond. She's going to give you some hot, you know, this, that, and the fourth. And some time it went by. And people are starting to kind of look at Nicki like, well, I mean, where are you at? You pretty much built your career off of saying you're this bitch, you're this queen. Can't nobody you know, do what you do. But then you allow, you know, somebody who you've kind of, well, deemed as irrelevant as Remy Ma, and to come and dish you in the way that she did, coming at you, and you haven't responded, you know, in a way that people feel like you should have. Now, when she did finally respond, I guess the official response with no frauds, the public perception was not happy with that. And they felt like she couldn't have come harder, and it just felt like she didn't really dig the same way that they felt that Remy did. And so this was sort of like the public perception decline of Nicki Minaj, where up until now she's boasted, you know, this queen, this I'm this top bitch status, and there hasn't been any other female rapper within the time frame of her career to battle her or to confront her or to, you know, give her any competition, really. So it's given her the room to have this feeling. Now, it wasn't until people, you know, somebody actually did come and confront her directly that it kind of caused her to really have to reevaluate herself. And I felt like with the Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma thing, somebody, depending on who you ask, you could tell who it was that won. Some people feel like Nicki's response and the delay of it made her lose, and some people feel like the fact that Remy didn't really write that rap herself caused her to lose. Whatever. Let's say that that was a tie. Boom. When Cardi B came out of literally nowhere with Bodak Yellow, and it skyrocketed, well, never really skyrocketed, but it slowly moved its way to the #1 spot, and Cardi started showing up on more features. Cardi started being, you know, just looked at in the industry as the new it girl, okay, in hip hop. She got the accolade of being the first female MC to go #1 since Lauryn Hill, which is in the 90s. Like, that's a really big feat. And you could see slightly at this point that Nicki was bothered. You could tell because Nicki has never gotten a #1 song, a Billboard Hot 100, which is very interesting. You feel like she would have, but the closest that she came on her own was Anaconda back in 2014, which reached #2. Okay? So you've got this newcomer. You've been in the game at this point 7, 8 years, I believe, consistently. And she's never had a #1. And this newcomer just kind of comes right out the gate, stabs the #1. And it was just one thing after another. Cardi B's slowly ascension to success. It just felt like the more that Cardi went up, the more that Nicki went down as far as just behavior-wise. Nicki started going on people on DMs, calling them all sorts of names, getting into fights, calling people all kind of shit. And it just was like, why are you doing this? This is so ridiculous. And then, excuse me, when this era started, I felt like the era was actually off to a semi-good start when she released the Chun-Li and Barbie Tings. Even though both of them weren't my favorite, I still felt like, okay, I'm ready to listen and I'm ready to hear what else she's gonna have. The way that she just maneuvered during this area was very confusing, very haphazard, at least to her fans, because it was like, okay, she released these dual singles, and I hate when artists do this, when they release dual singles just to kind of see which one sticks than the other one, as opposed to just dedicating their promotion to one single and driving it home. So apparently Chun-Li was the one that stuck, and I believe it went gold, and she just completely ignored Barbie Tings, to be honest. Completely ignored it. And then after Chun-Li, we get, what was it, Rich Sex, featuring Lil Wayne, and that caused controversy because some people felt like, how are you're like shaming people, shaming women, and you're trying to be this feminist, but you're saying all this different stuff about prostitution and all this. So that one was not really real well received. Then she tried to put out Bed with Ariana Grande, you know, that had like a summery feel to it, but the only thing about Bed is it goes nowhere. To me, it doesn't really go anywhere. And it was just everything that she put out with this era, it was paired with so much drama outside of the music. Her Queen Radio, that epic "To Freedom" blurb from the yo, Nicki was on some other stuff, and I can't help but feel like, because she's been so used to not being rivaled in this hip-hop game as a female MC for so long, when somebody came like Cardi B right off the gate, people loving her for reasons that people don't love Nicki. And somebody put this into perspective. It was B. Scott, you know, shout out to B. Scott. I was listening to their podcast, and they mentioned, and I think they said it in a way that, you know, is pretty much all wrapped up. Like, people like Cardi because Cardi is a lot more relatable. Cardi doesn't make you feel like she's better than you. She doesn't make you feel like, oh, I'm this celebrity, I've done all these things and you can't sit with us. Like, she says, look, I'm just a regular girl. I just got here because I worked hard, I prayed. And, you know, she's been real down to earth, and a lot of people like that. A lot of people aren't attracted to somebody like Nicki, who in every verse, she talks about everybody is their sons. She talks about how she's the best. She talks about, you know, how good her pussy is. And, you know, some people like that because some people like to embody that and it feels like they're empowered, but a lot of people are turned off by that. Now, me, myself, I was a big fan of Nicki's, but that always did kind of like, okay, this is sounding like you're saying the same things over and over and over again. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But then once she started doing all this stuff in the real world with her going back and forth with people, going on this radio, just making all these unnecessary digs at Cardi. And what killed me, I think what killed me is that interview that she did, I believe it was an Apple interview, where they talked about the motorsport, where she talked about the motorsport and how she felt like Cardi didn't, I guess, appreciate the fact that she had an opportunity to be on a song with somebody like Nicki Minaj, and how she didn't like come and basically kiss her ass. Like, she's supposed to be the it girl, and I could not help but think this is exactly, it is playing out exactly the way that you treated Lil' Kim when you first came out. Because when you first came out, you wasn't caring about trying to work with her, give her accolades, or too much of that. It was always you being like, oh no, I'm this, I'm that, I don't need her, she's this, she's that. And Kim was always like, look, all I wanted was my respect. And it felt like she never got the respect. So now the tables have flipped to where now you're feeling like Cardi owes you the same respect that Lil' Kim was trying to get from you at the time. And it's just, I want so much better for Nicki, but I just feel like she has been coddled a majority of this time without the competition to make her better. And because it's happening so fast, so quickly, she doesn't know how to handle it. Now, that doesn't mean that Cardi is without fault, because, you know, Cardi does come from a particular background. She ascended to fame so quickly that she's not really handling it always in the best ways. But it's just, to me, even with this incident, Cardi, this doesn't surprise us. Or we understand that Cardi would do this just because Cardi has always shown herself to be like, I am not one to take no mess. Like she said in her note that I've tried to be as civil as possible, but once you started bringing up somebody's child, excuse me, like, we don't know what it is that she said. Apparently Nicki was liking comments in relation to her motherhood or her mothering ability. And regardless of rap or whatever industry, nothing like that. Woman to woman, that is something that you can get punched for. Okay, people don't play about their kids. You cannot like me, but you better leave the little one out of it, or it's about to be me and you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand where Cardi's coming from. I'm not sure how I would tell her to handle somebody if somebody's there in your face that you've seen talking stuff about your child. Because like Cardi said, that she's not really one for like all the celebrity part of it. I think she just wanted to do something that she was passionate of and make money so she can feed her family. I don't think she's really, you know, all about the celebrity part about it. So people are calling her ghetto for doing this, you know, at this high-end A-list celebrity event. My thing is, if she's not really, you know, mentally a part of that, or she doesn't feel like she really connects with that, she's not going to care about the fact that this is a party event. She sees somebody else who has been disrespecting her, not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but multiple times over the course of the past year and a half. And she's talking like the child broke, you know, the last straw. And somebody said that it just looks like Cardi has a lot of the things that Nicki wants, like a #1 Billboard Hot 100. All of Cardi B's album was on the charts. She got, well, married. Her relationship, you can't really, I don't know, because Offset been doing his dirt too, but. And then she has a child, you know, Nicki's always wanted a child. It just seems like the jealousy and the bitterness from Nicki has taken its toll on her. And I don't know if she has the right people around her to tell her that she's out of control. And I don't even know if Cardi always has the right people around her to tell her how to manage her newfound celebrity. So I just feel like this is ridiculous. Like, I really wish that they would have taken the MC Elliott. I was about to say MC Lyte and Missy Elliott. The Missy Elliott route where it's just unified, because can y'all imagine how good and how more positive both of their careers would be if they just embraced each other? You know, Cardi could, I mean not Cardi, but Nicki could have rode the wave, brought in the new person. The new person's fans can meet the OG's fans, and y'all create new fans together. Like, I don't know. But let me let y'all, sorry, it's late. My mind is going faster than my mouth can keep up with. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I did not mean for this to be this long, but I have had some thoughts about this whole thing going back and forth, and I don't know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing on both ends, but I do always seem to understand a lot of times where Cardi is coming from. And Nicki, if you're going to be, you know, call your album the Queen, you have to sort of act as such. Like, that title calls for so much pressure. Like, there's so much expectation that comes from it that I just don't feel like it lived up to it. The album isn't bad, but there's a lot of things about it that I'm not, and it could just be a personal taste thing. It could just be a personal taste. But anyways, let me go. I just wanted to come and just do this random video, give you guys some more content. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Which side do you think you fall on, or are you more, you know, neutral? Let me know, you guys. I'm looking forward to hearing what your comments are. Make sure you like, comment, and share if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.